Being live streamed. Preparing to live stream. Boy, we're going to get this right at 7 this time.
Look at that.
All right.
What a plan comes together.
Yes.
There we go.
All right. Good. All right.
No need to play it.
Yeah. As long as I don't play it, then we won't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feedback.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That gets crazy. So,
Yeah.
so, all
I
right.
brought the viewer just for the live stream. I didn't think of it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't think of it, period. So
Well, it's all good. We got it. We this is a work in progress, everybody.
yeah.
So, all right, now let me get the cameras figured out. You all aren't seeing, you're seeing all of us. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Inventor Friday. We're getting all of our little ducks in a row here. Let's see. There we go.
No lag either.
No lag this time. All right. All right. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to Inventor Friday. I'm Don Skaggs, president of the Inventors Network Kentucky, and this is the kind of the interesting meeting where we're all just going to kind of hang out and talk about stuff, and it's interesting for inventors. And actually, we've had an interesting week at the Inventors Network Kentucky. We did on Tuesday, we did something called the Inventor Group Mixer. Actually, we had 2 names for it, and I think Mixer kind of won out. But the Mixer was where we had like all of these different inventor groups from all over the country that joined us. We had Florida, and we had Texas, and we had Michigan. We just had inventor groups from all over that joined us, and we got to feature each one. And you know, it was a large number of people that we had at this, and a lot of really good news. There's a lot of positivity going on with inventors right now, and inventor groups right now. What we really, and you know, in the pandemic, it was, you know, everybody was kind of depressed, and you know, nobody could go to real meetings, and we were learning about this new thing called Zoom, and it was a difficult time, but I think we're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel now. We saw groups, and actually I spoke at 2 groups this past month. I spoke was it day before yesterday? It was Wednesday. I spoke with the Inventors Council in Tampa, Florida, and then earlier this month I spoke at the Inventors Association of Arizona. And I noticed something with both of those things is things are turning around. We're seeing more people at these meetings. We're seeing some positivity. I'm watching some inventor group leaders that are out there that are just, they're in it for the long haul, and they are looking hopeful now. And things are really starting to turn around with a lot of these folks, and it's exciting. It's exciting to watch. A lot of in-person groups, groups are starting to go back in person. They're doing the hybrid thing, which I think is a wonderful thing, because everybody gets to join, whether you can make it there or not. And then some people are joining again in person. I got to speak to people in person in a real room this week. So that was a lot of fun. And but things are looking good. And you know, it's kind of funny when we get ready for one of these inventor mixers, you know, I'm trying to contact all the different inventor group leaders around the country, and I'm making phone calls kind of like Jerry Maguire, if you know that movie. So I'm making phone calls Jerry Maguire style, and I'm calling and talking to all of these different inventor group leaders. And I'll tell you the feel I got this week. And the feel I got this week was that inventor groups are hopeful, and that things are looking good, and things are starting to turn around for a lot. I think the ones that are sticking to it, just like startups and businesses and everything else, the ones that are really sticking with it, those are the ones that I think are going to do really well, and we're already starting to do very well. So we're excited about this. And we're excited to do this new thing tonight that we're doing. just a lot of growth, a lot of positivity going on with all this. So that being said, and now I'm not paying attention to the other. So you got you got the tech part, Leo?
Yeah.
All right, good. So with all that being said, let me get over and I'm going to our biggest tech issue tonight is probably going to be the fact that I am the one switching cameras around. So bear with us on that. And I am going to spotlight my so is that the right one? There we go. Spotlight for everyone. There we go. So I'm going to be doing camera switching tonight, which we were going to have somebody help us with that, but we're still working on that piece of it, and I'm doing it. So just pray for me because it's going to be pretty sometimes. But anyway, I am joined here. By the way, we are in what we call the Active Therapy Systems Studios. This is actually a building by one of our own inventors, one of our own members at Bennett Gatto. He had an idea for a product to develop a technology to help people with Parkinson's disease, and he's developed that product, and he's got it on the market now. And we're going to talk about that a little bit because they are a sponsor of what we're doing tonight, and they're providing our space, our building, our little studio we've kind of got set up in here. And with me tonight is Leo York.
Hey, where you all?
Leo, tell everybody, for all the ones that don't know who you are.
Okay, yeah.
The whole two people that don't know you.
Yeah, hey everyone, I'm a copywriter and I also push the buttons and pull the levers on the Zoom rooms.
Very, very cool. Now we've also got a very, very special guest tonight. We have with us, see if I can make this work. There we go. We've got Doug Clark. Doug, tell us who you are, what you do, what you're all about.
All right. Hello, everyone.
As I try to fix your camera. I got you.
A little higher, lower.
So my name is Doug Clark. I'm the founder and owner of Create Now Makerspace. For those of you that don't know what a makerspace is, it's a public community workshop. It's kind of like almost like a gym membership. Instead of exercise equipment, we've got equipment that you can actually make stuff with. So we've got, welding shop, machine shop, 3D printing. We've got pottery, laser cutters. So all this stuff basically is a makerspace. So you can come in and make whatever you want. Also got my manufacturing is cool shirt on because also I'm a partner with Xometry. I work with this company. Xometry is an on-demand manufacturing company. So you can basically upload your designs, and they have a network partnership with about 5,000 to 8,000 machine shops around the country that'll make the parts for you. They're just trying to keep everything here in the United States. So I love Xometry. I worked for them for 4 years, but I just recently transitioned from an actual employee of Xometry, and now I'm one of their partner networks. So I actually work out of the makerspace, just like a lot of other people there, and I use the tools to make parts for Xometry. So
Very
glad
cool.
to be here.
Very
Thanks,
cool.
Tom. Thanks.
All right. Well, we're really, really glad to have you. So I am going to talk a little bit about our sponsor tonight. We actually have a sponsor, and and that's the building we're in. This we call it the Active Therapy Systems Studio, and to our like I was saying, it was one of our own, Bennett Gatto, and he has a company now, and actually a website called Total Health Works. And so if you are looking for help with say brain health, if you want to think better, if you want to he does this for Parkinson's, for neurodegenerative diseases, but actually any older adult that is looking for just taking control of your health. He does group classes, one-on-one. They have actually a free exercise class on Wednesdays, I think it is. But if you're interested in memory, helping with memory, healthy aging, MS, Parkinson's, they kind of do it all. So it's a really, really cool thing. He is combined physical exercise with cognitive activity to really make you feel a lot younger, especially for those of us who aren't 20 years old anymore. So anyway, if you're interested in information on that, go to totalhealthworks.com, and Bennett would really appreciate you stopping by. So anyway, with that, we've got some upcoming meetings. I think next month we've got meetings in April, so you want to stay tuned for those things. If you're on YouTube, just like, subscribe, help us to build our tribe. We've got somebody unmuted still. Oh, did you get it? Okay, thanks. And we've got a meeting come up, I think April 4th. I think we're going to have April Mitchell on April the 4th. So we'll watch your email inboxes. If you signed up for this, you are you will get emails from us. If you're not getting emails from us, like announcements and news and things like that, then check your spam filter or let us know. And because we want to be able to get this good information to you on a regular basis. But one of the pieces of information we'll be sending is news and announcements for next month's meetings in April. And then we also have a workshop next week on Tuesday. And our workshop is for members only, and you can become a member. Just go to our website, and that is kyinventors.org. I'll show you that right here in a second. And let's see. Is that it?
Yeah, the one.
Oh, there it is. There we are. Did I tell you all I was running the cameras tonight? So, so anyway, this is our website, kyinventors.org. You want to come here. If you want to be a member, just click on one of these buttons right here. If you want to get a text alert, you can get a text alert. You can check out upcoming events. This is tonight, right now. You are in Inventor Friday. Next week is our workshop. You got to be a member for that one, but it's a really, really cool way. It's kind of like a brainstorming session on steroids. So it's a really good thing. We have a lot of people participating in that, and it's really, really cool. So anyway, with that, we're going to talk a little bit about what inventions came up in history this go round. And I'm going to show one here, and this was kind of interesting, I thought. Let's see. I'm going to go back to my share screen, and we're going to go back over here again. And here we go. So, what happened in March for inventors? Well, one thing is, and I did not know this. Usually I try to keep up on this stuff. Anybody that might think they know who that is, they can put it in the chat. But magician and showman Harry Houdini was granted patent number 1,370,316 for a diver's suit. Now, I can think of a lot of things Harry Houdini might have invented, but he actually invented a diving suit. Here's the actual Google patents. And this is the actual patent right here. I thought this was cool. This was a patent drawing from 1921, and his name's right on here too, H. Houdini, which I thought that was just wild. So apparently, it looks to me like he's trying to get this is a diver's suit. So I guess if you're underwater and it looks like you're doing a magic Houdini trick, I guess the diving suit so you can breathe, and then you get out of it so you can jump up out of the water and say ta-da. And get some applause and that sort of things. But that's the actual patent right there from 1921. Houdini had a patent. Who would have guessed that? I just thought that was pretty wild. So did you know that, Leo? Did you know that?
I had no idea. Yeah, I mean, the guy was a Renaissance man. He did all sorts of stuff. He spied for multiple governments.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and kept himself in insane physical condition, but I had no idea that he had a patented diving suit. What about you, Doug?
I had no idea. I just knew he was the guy that was the famous magician. So.
Yeah, creepy stuff.
Wow. So yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Knowing how talented he was, he probably illustrated every bit of that too. So
Oh, do you think he drew?
I'm willing to wager, yeah.
Really, because I was just thinking about that.
'Cause he was good at everything.
Yeah.
So
Thinking, well, he was a master magician, but was he a master draftsman also?
yeah, wouldn't be shocked.
Wow. So you just people like that. I guess they're like polymaths,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wild.
Hmm.
That's wild. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting thing. I just thought, of all things, I could think of a lot of different things like a diving suit would have just been the last thing I would have thought on that. So anyway, let me go to the next one here. This next one's kind of interesting too, and it's actually sort of a two-parter. So another thing that happened in March in swear guys, I am going to get the hang of this.
Hilarious.
So another thing that happened in March outside of Houdini, Alexander Graham Bell patents the telephone. So this was March 7th, 1876. He receives a patent for the telephone, and which I thought was kind of interesting, just all by itself. I mean, you think about how the telephone kind of changed the world. But here's the other part to this, and I thought this was really, really interesting. So in 1878, no, 1889, sorry. So in 1889, a Kansas City undertaker named Almond Stoger invented a switch that could connect any one line to any 100 lines using relays and sliders, and it became known as the Stroger switch. I guess that's how you'd pronounce it. And so and this was the really interesting part. I thought it was, as it came to be known, it was still in use in some telephone offices over 100 years later. So
like not that long after the Civil War, he comes up with it, and then it's all the way up to like Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, what did we say? 1889 to almost 1989. Then they're still out there.
Yeah,
timeless invention.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
So that picture of Alexander Graham Bell, it said he invented that. He had that patent at 29.
Oh wow!
Is that a picture of him at 29?
I sure.
I hope not.
Because if it is, I think life was pretty hard back then.
Oh snap!
I hope that wasn't a picture.
Have you ever heard the recording, like when he first tested it?
No.
It's trippy. He says Mary had a little lamb. He just recites it, but it's because it's an early model of the telephone. It just sounds demonic. It's just
Really?
Mary had a little lamb, but it's like all yeah, it's freaky.
Oh yeah, I wonder if that audio is available anywhere. We ought to see if we
I
can
guarantee
find
Yeah.
You can probably find it on
YouTube.
Yeah, if somebody finds that, put it in the chat, because that's that'd be pretty trippy to see that. So yeah, that's that is wild. And the other thing I was thinking about this really was that so Bell comes up with a telephone, but Stroger comes up with a automatic telephone exchange. And yeah, I guess my thought, first thing that my mind went to with all this was that just because you invent one thing doesn't mean you can't invent something else related to it, or an improvement on it, or something that is, well, and it's kind of like the ring insulator guys. So, and those of you that haven't seen that or hadn't heard about the ring insulator guys, they actually came up with a product that goes on the end of a solo cup, and you put it in another solo cup, and it acts just like a Yeti cup, except it's just a little piece of plastic. And they're doing really, really well. A couple inventors in Michigan met them last year, and it's been really, really cool. And you look at the Yeti cup and you think, oh, okay, well that's been done, but they actually came up with something different, and that's kind of what that reminded me of.
Yeah. That's actually one of my favorite things about invention as a concept is every time you solve a problem, you create multiple other problems that all need to be solved. It's like whoever invented the car. When Henry Ford invented the car, it's like, well, now you need mechanics, now you need tires, now you need lubricant, now you need solvent. And so it's just one of those things where every idea leads to more ideas.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. Just all the different things that just would be a part of that.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Interesting.
That's why I get annoyed when people say, "Oh, well, everything's already been invented." It's like, no. If anything, there's more opportunities now because there's so many things out there that need to be corrected.
Wasn't that like the first patent office commissioner that said
Oh
that?
yeah, and that was like 100 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. He was like, everything's already, and okay, the two things that really made me think, okay, why is that?
We already have turpentine and horseshoes. It's kind of the attitude.
What else could you possibly need?
Yeah, what else could you need? Oh, that's just crazy. But here's the other piece to this is why would he be the commissioner of patents to go out and say that?
Yeah, very bizarre.
Yeah, totally bizarre. So anyway,
Some kind of nepotism going.
yeah. Oh goodness. All right. Well, let's see. Let's move on from telephones.
Before we do that,
Oh,
real
yeah,
quick,
yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Larry, for pointing that out. There's actually a controversy over the invention of the telephone, and
Oh yeah.
it involves Whirlpool Corp, which Larry's got some knowledge of.
Oh
so
really?
Thanks for that.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
interesting.
It's in the chat, everybody.
How cool is that? Huh. I would have not thought Whirlpool had. I mean, I'd heard that there was a kind of a controversy, but I didn't know Whirlpool was involved.
Yeah, tangentially. Interesting
Yeah.
stuff.
That is interesting. Wow, thanks, Larry. So, all right. Well, let's move from
Just to say, Whirlpool actually wasn't involved per se, other than the fact that later Elijah Gray, who might have been the telephone inventor, son or grandson, became the chairman of Whirlpool.
That makes
all
sense.
right. All right.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks for that. So, all right. Well, let's move on from telephones to wheeled suitcases. And let me move over to this, and we'll pull this one up. I thought this one was pretty. So this is a wheeled suitcase. So in when was this? 1993. I somehow want to remember this as being earlier than that. But it says 1993, a patent was issued for a suitcase including a luggage member, support structure, and blah, 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 having two wheels. Yeah. So everything you see at the airport. Exactly. And here's the actual patent of it. I think there's a picture here somewhere too. But 1993, yeah, there it is. The funny thing, even the patent drawing looks kind of like the one you would see at the airport in the 1980s. Now they've come a long way since. Now they're like independent wheels.
Yeah.
And
I've seen some that are controlled, like they'll follow you.
oh, really?
Yeah.
A smart wheeled
Autonomous
suitcase.
suitcase.
Oh wow, wild. Yeah, you just kind of wonder about what else could you do with a suitcase?
Right. Yeah, I mean that's pretty amazing. If you told Kid me that you could get like R2D2 to carry your that would blow my mind. So yeah.
Oh gosh, goodness. Well, the only other thing I think we've really got in the news is in 1861 there was a Patent Act in 1861 that increased the term of a patent from 14 years to 17 years. I just thought that was kind of interesting too. And I don't think I've got a link for that one, but and now it's 20 years. So, a lot of people think, oh, I've only got 20 years. Well, it used to be 14. So that patents expire. And so you always kind of got to keep that in mind, I think is. But now is it trademarks that last
Oh, shoot.
Trademarks that last forever.
Yeah, trademarks basically last however long Disney wants them to last. Another rule.
Oh, goodness. Well, yeah. I'm always thinking about the, when I think of trademarks versus patents and length of time, I always think about, jeans, Levi jeans. Because Levi jeans is like that, that pattern or that whatever, the trademark thing on the back pocket, that's, their patent ran out.
Tag and
Yeah. So, that's still going, while the patent ran out in probably the 1800s.
Crazy. Yeah, it's true.
So, but the other one's like still going. So that's just really, really wild. So, all right, well, let's move on to some inventions in we've kind of gone the historical route. Now let's kind of go to what's going on in the news. Because there's some interesting things that's going on right now in the inventorverse, as we like to call it sometimes. And one of those is
Hey, real quick, there's
Yep.
kind of a tech issue. Some people can't get in without a password.
oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I get it. Yeah. All caps Friday. That's also the
All caps
password,
Friday.
apparently.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, it is.
Okay.
All
Can you
caps.
hear me, Leo?
Yes.
I tried for the full last hour. I've tried to get on since 6:30 on my phone. I
Well,
tried
shoot.
both different
Sorry
links.
about that,
I tried
Jesse.
small letters, large
I
letters.
didn't do this.
I tried my computer. So what happened? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Weird.
know.
Yeah. Friday was the
I'm glad
promo
you're in.
code, but it wasn't the password. That's weird.
Oh, it was both.
Oh, okay.
It was both.
I see. Okay.
So yeah, sorry about that, Jesse. Well, I hope we didn't miss anybody else.
Well, the reason I bring it up, through all that hour of irritation trying to get on, I'm concerned as to whether anybody else out there
Yeah.
that's on their phone is not having
Right.
that same problem. You might have a dozen people out there that gave up. I don't know.
It's possible.
It's
Yeah.
possible. It is possible.
Shoot.
I even
Well,
called
we'll,
George to try to give me a hand.
Yeah,
you
George
know?
is the one who messaged me. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we did send out an email giving the link to people to get in on the live stream. And that's just clicking on the link.
Yeah.
So that'll take you there. And I'm not seeing any emails right now on
Okay.
that from
Well,
anybody.
sorry to be the squeaky wheel, but I mean, I've really been working for the last hour.
All right. Well, we appreciate
Since
that. Jeff. We appreciate your
6:35.
patience on that. We appreciate your patience. So, all right, let's see. Let's move on now. This is kind of a this one might be in your wheelhouse, Doug. It's Wilson has reinvented the basketball with a 3D printed basketball. Have you heard about this one?
I have not.
Wilson. So this is a little short video on it.
Before it changes everything. Before trial and error and breakthrough.
Can you guys hear it?
You hear it?
I had to ask the question, what if it's possible? Because it's things are possible. A basketball made of powder and lasers that plays like the basketballs we've always known. That bounces without air. Wilson asked the question. Introducing the Wilson airless prototype. A ball that takes everything we know and reaches something beyond.
So I thought this was wild. This is a Wilson reinvents the basketball with a 3D printed airless lattice design. So yeah, I mean, it looks a little odd. It's like you can almost see straight through it if you aimed it the right way, but it's made from an elastomeric polymer developed by Wilson. Airless ball has a see-through lattice structure with hexagonal holes that allow air to pass through it. So just thought that was kind of interesting.
You never have to worry about over or under inflating.
Right. The blowing it up is just made no longer even a thing. So I don't know. Doug, what do you think? What do you think about this one?
Oh, I mean, I love it. I mean, that's, they talked about, it's used with polymer and a laser. So it's basically a laser sintering process that they're doing. And, when 3D printing first came out, well, I mean, it's been out for a long time, but when 3D printing came out for the masses, where people could actually afford to have one on their desktop, they're super slow. It's basically just a hot glue gun. And all the 3D printed people out there are going to hate me for this saying that, but that's really all it does. It just takes, a polymer, it melts it, and it, kind of lays it down a layer at a time. But now with this laser sintering, they're starting to not only make stuff out of polymers, but they're sintering or melting metal. So they're making like jet engine parts that are spinning at like 30,000 RPM and
Dang.
holding up. So it's, I think, over the last 10 or 15 years, 3D printing has, it's been a really slow process, but they have really gained a lot of speed. And they're really starting to, the manufacturability of products to be 3D printed is really going to start hitting the market a lot faster. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well,
I've been saying that for years, and people thought I was crazy 15 years ago when I was saying we're going to be making parts 3D printed, and but we're definitely seeing.
so that sort of begs the question then, just of, well, I'm thinking of a couple of different things. Is what one is, and I've always wondered about this, and we talked about this a little earlier before we started, and that's that, you've got 3D printing, and then you've got the traditional mold that you have to have made, $10,000 sometimes.
Right.
And if you get that wrong, or you have to change it or something, then you got to like break the mold and redo it. And I always wondered if there was some kind of mezzanine, something between 3D printing and actual injection molding, and
Right.
if that's kind of coming that way.
And I really think it is. And we talked about this earlier. I'm working with a client right now who's a member of the Inventor Council, and he recently got an SBIR grant, and he was looking to injection mold some products. And quite frankly, I told him, it's going to be, I mean, I can make the molds for him, but I'm not an injection mold engineer, so I could do my very best, but I'm sure there's going to be some trial and error, and there's cost with that. Or he can just go to someone that does that for a living, and it's going to cost quite a bit of money to get that done. And then you can just go the 3D printing way, but it's kind of a slow process. Some of the materials don't really hold up well. So I've kind of worked with them pretty closely, and we've realized that we're starting to make a mold, and then we're going to vacuum form over that mold. So, and it's instantaneously. I mean, once you've got your mold made, you vacuum form it, and boom, you've got a mold ready, and he can pour up his stuff. So
Wow.
I'm not saying that's going to absolutely be, that's not like right in the middle. But right now with technology, that's kind of where I'm at with that client.
Wow.
But I'm telling you, the laser sintering, and just the manufacturability of 3D printing is just made. It's been so slow, but there's going to be leaps and bounds that are going to be made in the next 5 to 10 years that we're just not going to believe what we can do.
Yeah, it was man.
Wow.
And I keep my eye pretty close to that.
It's awesome.
So
I know.
that begs the question: if they are making a 3D printed jet engine part, would you get in that airplane? Would you get in that jet?
We're all getting in those jets right now.
Oh,
They are
Wow.
in the air right
Oh,
now.
wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. So we're flying on 3D printed parts, and we don't even know it yet.
Yes. Did you? I mean, I don't know if it launched, but did you hear about the first 3D printed rocket?
I
No.
did.
I think
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
what's today?
So
It
yeah, I
was
was gonna say yesterday, yeah.
I don't even, I was like, oh, I think it's gonna be at 1 o'clock. And I was so darn busy making parts for geometry. I'm
Oh,
like, I
gosh.
forgot to watch it.
Oh, no.
So yes, the first 3D printed rocket was supposed to like circle the earth like
Crazy.
3 times.
Doug, did you mean rocket or rocket engine?
No, I think it was a rocket. The
Okay, because
actual
I'd
rocket.
seen about the rocket engines, but I didn't know about a whole rocket.
I think all the parts are 3D printed.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Yep.
everything. Everything. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and David wanted to know how much the basketball costs. It's only 1,000% more than a regular basketball. It's $200. So there is that. That's the only caveat.
That's, and that's another thing too. A lot of these, companies like, Tesla and Boeing, they have the market to buy these really crazy, expensive, super high technology 3D printers, where folks like me with a makerspace, no, we don't have that budget. So, but the good thing about it is that technology is out there. And the more that the Boeings and the Teslas and other people that are doing this, the more that they're doing and the more that they buy these pieces of equipment, the price starts to go down because they start making, they're not just one-off machines,
Makes
right?
sense.
Now there's more, more companies, corporations buying these things. That's going to kind of bring the price down.
So
too.
so
So
stuff's gonna get cheaper then.
It
So. Wow,
definitely looking
Very
forward to
cool.
that.
yeah.
Hmm.
Do you think it'll be the day where you could have everybody has their own 3D printer in their home? You think,
I
or is that kind of
think
the
that could happen.
Mm.
I just there's a group of folks out there that are just not into technology like I am,
Right.
and maybe the rest of this group is.
yeah,
But there's going to be people like, no, I don't want a 3D printer in my home. I
Yeah.
just want to pay, go
right,
down the street
right.
or go to the 3D printer store and just say, hey, I'd like to order.
I want to make one of
this,
these.
this, and somebody will print it.
Hey, if I had a specialty part I needed made, and I like had the broken part and glued it together, but I can't use it because it's glued together, and I wanted to have it, right? I mean, I would take it to
Yeah.
I'd take it to you and say, here, make me one of these.
There's we've got a member who actually owns a 3D printing store in right in town here in Lexington. And they're pretty much they're I mean, they make a lot of things, but their mainstay is urns.
Oh, I
Really?
was not
They
guessing that.
3D print urns.
Oh my gosh. Are
So-
they like specialty design? Are they
Oh,
custom?
yeah, no, they're totally custom.
Wow.
Weird.
But yeah, they're
Urns.
3D printing.
Interesting.
I would have never guessed that. I would have guessed a lot of things, but
Apparently they're doing very well. So good for them. Awesome.
wow.
That begs the question. This is a little morbid, but what about 3D printing with cremains? Like, what about making a statue out of somebody with their cremains?
I guarantee you could do that.
I think that'd be a little more tasteful than an urn.
I
frankly.
guarantee you
Yeah.
could do that. I mean,
Yeah.
you just kind of mix their remains with
With-
some kind of polymer
Yeah.
or something, and
There we go.
Well, just because you could do it. You should.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have a grief factor about,
Yeah.
oh, look, here's the.
There we go, yeah. Starting a business today. Weird.
I don't know. I think I'd be weirded out by that walking into
Yeah.
somebody's living room. Well, here's Uncle Joe.
Stuff like that. There's glass bowls made from people, so
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
you could
they
do a
used
scan
to
and
do
do a
that
bust.
lot.
The what?
Do a scan and a bust,
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
and you can shrink it like the half size or a quarter size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can have a 3D printed mini me.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Freaky.
Yeah. Well, Jesse, you got it. You caught us late, so we're muting everybody during this part of the program tonight because we're trying something new. And but definitely send us your stuff in the chat.
Yeah.
Because we definitely want to
And I
get your
saw that,
input.
Colin. Yeah, they make gemstones out of people too.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
now I could kind of see the whole diamond thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
could
people.
see that of okay, that but I don't know, a bus. I don't know. That would weird me out a little bit. Oh, but hey, you know, each his own.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just wondering all the different things you could do with 3D printing right now, or where it could all go. You know, I was thinking the other day, I was thinking, well, you know, they do a lot of food, chocolate, stuff like that, and they're like specialty chocolate 3D printers. And so what if you had a restaurant, and this is a wild idea, just thought of this week. And I'll never act on it. So anybody out there, just have at it. So you got a restaurant, and the restaurant, and this might go back to the creep factor that you were talking about, Leo. You've got a restaurant and you want a dessert, chocolate dessert, but they custom make the chocolate in whatever design
That's
you
a
want.
thing already.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it really?
I was just gonna say.
Oh my
it's already
God.
there. Yeah, we are already there. Yeah.
Wow. I wonder if somebody's patented that already.
I guarantee you.
Oh my gosh.
It's a thing.
I did not know that was a thing.
Yep.
Will
And
3D
there's
print?
actually in Silicon Valley, there's 3D printed pizza places too.
Yeah.
So it extrudes the dough into a disc, it extrudes the marinara, it extrudes the cheese, and it bakes it, and it's all automated.
And will it
Weird.
program it to say happy birthday on
Yeah,
the pizza?
probably. Yeah, with banana peppers, I don't know. Yeah, weird stuff.
Well, I mean, you know, I could talk about 3D printing like forever, but you know, one of the advantages I see to 3D printing, a really big advantage is, so I tell people all the time at the makerspace, if you're going to design something and they want to use, you know, a CNC router or the CNC mill or whatever, they're going to do their design, and you know, they're going to use, you know, either expensive material. I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just go to the 3D printer. You already have the design,
Mhm.
right? Go to the 3D printer, print it out, and make sure the fit and the functionality is all there with inexpensive, like it'll cost you $30 instead of, you know, 300 to get it done on, you know, some other machine.
Makes sense.
So you do that, just like the that rescue carabiner.
Right.
Mhm.
We did everything on, we did everything 3D printed and checked all the functionality, the form, how it felt in your hand, the ergonomics,
That's
everything.
important.
Yep.
We did that first. That's very cost effective. And then once you're happy with the design, then go on and you start manufacturing. So
Yeah.
Well, now we were talking before we started about the carabiner, which is actually one of our own inventors. So
Looks like holding front of the
that's,
camera.
oh yeah. So this, for those of you that don't know, this is
Kelly Moore.
Kelly Moore, and he came up with this really cool thing called the carabiner. You can hold it in your hand like that. This part will break a window of your car, and this right here will cut your seatbelt. And well, actually, Leo and you both had some really good stories on this.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Leo actually had a little accident with one when he was demonstrating, but it actually
Yeah.
turned out to be like a really cool demo
Yeah.
of it when we were, what was that, Kentucky State Fair?
It was a state fair. Yeah. Yeah. It's trippy. And I didn't know that, Doug, until today, that you were, you know, responsible for the initial iteration being made.
right.
So that's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were showing it off at the state fair, and you know, you got the little lanyard and the ribbon and all that. And thank you. And I was doing demo for people, just showing them how it works, you know how to cut your seatbelt. And it's so effective and sharp, and you can't get your finger in it, that when I did the demo, I didn't think I'd touched a thing. And then the lanyard just falls to the ground. It had cut it so clean that I didn't even feel it. And of course, people saw that and they're like, I want one. So it worked out really well. I just had to get a replacement lanyard. So
That is wild. That is wild. And now, Doug, you had you had a story on top of that about how you all designed it to make it better than what's out there on the market.
Right. So, you know, Kelly Moore came to the makerspace, and they, you know, they had a bunch of drawings and they had an idea of what they wanted to do. So myself and the makerspace actually made the first 3D printed version of this. And I kept telling Kelly, because he was using it and it's only made out of plastic. And I kept saying, don't keep using it. You're going to break, you're going to break the only prototype. But he kept using it, and it just kept working and working. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but this part right here where it captures the seatbelt. There are other seatbelt cutters out on the market today, and usually the ones that the police department and the fire department have. This is a lot shorter. So what it does is when you're trying to cut the seatbelt, it actually folds. So it takes maybe 2 or 3 times to cut it. That's what we were finding. So I designed this to make sure that it kept the seatbelt from buckling. So this works on a seatbelt one time, every time. It's never failed. So really cool design. If you're interested in purchasing one of these,
That's right.
go to Long Tail.
Long tail designs.
So these are really neat.
Yeah.
They've got a titanium tip here, so you can break the window. So yeah, cool design, but it was great that Leo caught up about
I think that would just make the perfect wow moment demo of here's the one that the police use, and it takes three times to get it cut.
Right.
Here's ours, one time every time.
Yep. Unique
Yeah,
value
yeah.
proposition. This is
Yeah.
what makes us different. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. Well, that is cool. That is really, really cool.
So yeah, that's my tip about 3D printing. It's you don't have to buy the super expensive ones, but you could definitely utilize 3D printers to help with your kind of prototyping.
Mm.
A lot more cost effective.
Cool. All right. Well, let's see. We are coming up on quarter till. So I guess this time I am going to bring in Bridget. Let's find Bridget.
There she is.
Oh, there we go. Bridget, I'm going to spotlight you and unmute you, or ask you to unmute. Let's see.
Spotlight.
That's spotlight. There we go. Hey, Bridget.
Let's see.
Hi, Mr.
Oh, Bridget.
Skaggs.
Hey.
Good to see you. Good to see you. So we are I need to change ours too. But Bridget is one of our own, one of our inventor entrepreneurs, and she has she's got Bridget, you probably don't know this, but I use you as an example a lot when I'm talking about, well, all your inventors just like make gadgets and stuff, right? And I say, oh no, I have an inventor in our group that is a children's book author. She's an educator, and she has done something extremely creative with educating young children on very, very important principles. And so Bridget, I'll kind of tell everybody who you are, what you do, and about your products. Your books.
My name is Bridget Johnson, and I am a former preschool teacher of JCPS of 22 years. And how I got started in education, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I wanted to go back out to the workforce. And I used to be a former beautician, but how many know having 5 children that daycare would be very expensive? And so my sister-in-law suggested that I would go back and that I would just go into the school system, because she said, why don't you go to the school system, because in that way you would get out the same time your kids would be getting home, and that would work out perfect since they're getting older. So I went back to the school system, and I was a substitute for 8 years. And after substituting for 8 years, the principal asked me to go back to school because I had no college education at all. So at the age of 45, I went back to school and I got my associate's degree. And then right after that, I got my bachelor's, and I'm currently working on my master's degree in Montessori education. And while I was there, I saw that there was a lack of focus, a lot of challenging behaviors going on. And so I would try to think of things I could do to keep the kids focused, because I could see that the teachers were getting burnt out, and a lot of things that I saw I wanted to do, but I wasn't in a position because I wasn't certified. I didn't have the credentials to be a lead teacher. So I began to jingle off of songs and had a keyboard that lighted up. And so the kids would think that I was playing it. So I would, act like I was playing, and, they got all excited, and I would just, throw some little words out there, and they liked it. So I began to go around to each classroom. And so the teachers liked it. The parents liked it. And so the teachers were like, when are you going to go in the studio and record some songs? Your songs. And I said, well, I can make a joyful noise, but I don't know about recording any songs. So I went in the studio and I recorded 5 songs, and then I authored 5 books to go with each one of them. So that was the beginning of my story. Well, then I got deemed as DJ BJ, the rapping school teacher, but it was clean, fun rap that kids like, And so to address the challenging behaviors and the lack of focus in the classroom, I started a business called Creatively Invented. And what we do is that we empower parents and teachers to effectively enhance children's academic and social skills with fun, catchy hip hop educational products and services. And so I started Creatively Invented. So from those 5 books and those songs, I started that business. And then from there, programs begin to develop out of me doing that. And my first to market is, hey, I know my 5 senses. I'm DJ BJ, the rapping school teacher, rapping about the 5 senses in my neighborhood. And so that was my first. It's really a song book. And so the teacher can read it, talks about the 5 senses. Since then, I've created videos to go with it. We have a 5 senses scavenger hunt. We have coloring books. We have bookmarks. And so it just kept going and going. And then I created another book called That's the Sound of the Kids Working on the Alphabet. And I took one of the old songs back in the old days, and I flipped it to That's the Sound of the Kids Working on the Alphabet. And so there were a lot of kids that struggled learning. And so I would come up with different ways to teach them that couldn't learn the traditional way. A lot of children that are autistic, ADHD. I've had such a success rate with those type of children. And so I began to do more songs and books, and That's the Sound of the Alphabet was created. I have a video to go with that too, that's on YouTube. We have coloring books, and then we have the letter hunt, which also reinforces the alphabet. A lot of the kids struggle with even pronouncing words. I have a lot of children that came in the classroom that they were nonverbal, and they left, actually talking. And so we have a workbook to go with that. And then what I'm just so much excited about is just, all of this, like you said, how did I get started? Was that in the classroom, but then how I've grown, just coming to things like the Inventors group and joining the network of entrepreneurial women, and joining all these networking groups in Louisville has really, helped me to take my products further than I thought I would.
So awesome.
That's amazing, Bridget. So Bridget, what was the hardest part of it for you? The hardest part of your journey?
The hardest part of it, I think, is getting the word out to people, because now I have 2 programs that was produced, because when I didn't really, a lack of knowledge and having zeal, but not according to knowledge, just a lot of zeal running with the business and really not understanding all the ins and outs. But I'm a part of Master Builders Academy. It stemmed out of my church, and we've been together like 7 years. And I think 50 businesses have came out of that group. And so just getting more knowledge about what I was doing and how to run a business. I just thought, I'm a children's author, I'm going to have this business, and didn't realize there was a lot more to it, than what I thought. So, I had to get some knowledge to go with it. And now that I'm getting better at, marketing and branding and different things like that, 2 programs have come out of my books. This is another one of my books, because disrespectfulness was such a problem in the school system. And I came up with 2 superheroes, Mighty Manners and Etiquette. And there's 2 superheroes teaching the children how to use their manners to show respect. And we do it through fun, hip hop, catchy, rap, and teach them how to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you, please, and I'm sorry. And we've also created a video to go with that. And this program, I'm trying to get it into schools and the churches, different things like that. because it's a fun way to teach kids how to be respectful. And, mighty manners, he always says, I'm mighty manners, and I'm here to say, I don't like bad manners, and I'm on my way. And now Etiquette has her own book, and she's a superhero girl of all etiquette. And she has a twin sister now called Netiquette. That book hasn't come out yet. So Netiquette is a
Oh, wow.
superhero of all internet etiquette. And so she's coming out too with her own book. And so just getting the word out. But the biggest thing now too is another book that I wrote during COVID. It's called The Superpreneurs. And these two children on the front are my grandchildren. And we teach fun financial literacy. And what happened during COVID, I bought a lemonade stand at a yard sale. And this picture comes from a photo shoot that we did at Glamour Shots, which they're closed now. So while we were doing the photo shoot, I said, y'all gonna be the superpreneurs, entrepreneurs who save and invest. So after that, I found the lemonade stand at a yard sale. And we brought it out, I think, as COVID was ending. And we sold almost 100 bottles the first day, because I think people were so interested and wanting to get out of the house, and they just seen this big yellow lemonade stand and seen some children dressed in yellow tutus. And so that's how we started with that. So since then, we have curriculum that I wrote to go with it. And we have lessons. The first lesson, we talk about what is money. The second lesson, we talk about what we can do with money. And it's an 8-week program. And I test piloted the program to New Directions. I met the fundraiser of New Directions at the Rotary Club because my grandchildren were asked to perform there. And Gene West was the MC, and Nate Morris of Rubicon was the guest speaker. So they all, loved the idea, and they were just so, amazed at how these two, a 6-year-old, I think Kamani was 6, Kamani was 7, and Dior was 6 at the time when we went. And so just learning about entrepreneurship, I got connected with New Directions. They have a program for adults called iRise. And what they want the adults to do is the family go from affordable housing to owning their own house. And so he said, would you come and do your program for the little children of the parents that's in the program? So we did the Fun Financial Literacy program there for 7 weeks. And at the last week, we had a pop-up shop. And so we taught them about how to sort money, who were the people on the coins. We even had them to put together a small business plan for kids. And they had to do 3 ideals and go home and talk to the parents about it and come back with one. And so we ended up having brother and sister do twin suites. We had the lip gloss goddess. We had Jello jigglers. We had, it was so cute. It ended up really being nice. We had a 3-year-old that had Nari's lemonade. And so WLKY came out, and they came and interviewed my grandchildren at the house when I brought the lemonade stand out. So they did a story on them. Then they came over to New Directions and did a story on me and the children there, and what they learned. And the little 3-year-olds knew what assets were and, what capital was, because in the book, everywhere we talk about something being entrepreneurial, there's a colored word in the book. Like we talk about assets, it's a colored word. We talk about they got a loan from their parents in the book to buy the lemonade stand and to buy the box and all that. So it's really been phenomenal. Just really, like I said, the hardest part is just trying to get sponsors, to get partnerships, but it's getting better and better and better.
Sounds like
I guess because I'm touched by 3 angels and I don't stop. I guess that's my
there you go.
Well, I believe it. And I've had a ringside seat for quite a while with what you've been doing. And I'll tell you, your tenacity is impressive. You just stuck with it, and you've not let things get you down.
No.
And you've taken seems like every stumbling block you took was just a learning experience for you.
Yes.
And you moved on, and you improved, and sometimes you get so far down the road and you don't realize how far you've come till you turn around and look.
Yes, that is so true. And I learned the other night what failed means. When you fail sometimes, it means your first attempt at learning. So I feel good now.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I've got to use that. I want to use your first attempt at learning. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes,
That is
so it's
that is
getting better.
fantastic.
It's getting better. And thank you and Mr. Leo. Y'all have helped me a lot in advertising me on LinkedIn and
You know,
Well,
just to
happy to help.
show just one little testimony on this. I'm gonna make it short. I go to Venture Connectors on once a month and I go pitch 30 seconds. And so they give us the mic and let us talk. And so I would go, so I wear this big yellow skirt and this Superman t-shirt, and everybody's probably like, oh Lord, here comes the cuckoo, and so I, consistently kept doing it. And one day I went and I set my, because we sell this in a box. I'm starting to get this out. The financial literacy program comes in a box too.
Oh,
And all my
nice.
other programs are going to come in a box. So I'm trying to get it to where I can sell it to homeschools and
Love
to school systems. And even if, if there's a program, a summer program, and they want to use it. So I set my box down. I went to go. So let me go and look in the bathroom, make sure my hair looks all right to pitch. So on my way there, a guy said, he pointed to me and his name was Ben Reno Weber, which, he's on LinkedIn too. And he works at U of L. And he said, we've been looking for you. And I said, what? He's like, yes, we've been looking for you. Said, there's a lady that owns Biscuit Belly, and she owned the Lemonade Day, Lemonade Day stand, and, group or nonprofit, and said that she's closing it because she's too busy now. And our board voted to give the money to your grandchildren. And I just thought that was so phenomenal. And I got to talk to her through Zoom, and she's like, we got lemonade, we got cups, we got sugar. So I just,
that's awesome.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome, Bridget. Well, Bridget, we're really proud of you, and we're cheering you on, and we just we're just really excited to have you as part of what we do here. So
Absolutely.
Thank you. And tell the 3D guy that I got a provisional patent that I might need help with.
yes, she does. So all right, Doug's your guy.
Oh,
All right. Well, thanks so much, Bridget.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, let's see now. We've let me see. Do we have some questions in the chat, Leo?
Yep, we do. Let's see.
All right.
Larry asks, have you seen 3D printing fall off of lately because people are buying their own, or is that, something more unique to certain areas? Because he noticed that was the case in some parts of Kentucky.
Yeah. So the question was, have I seen 3D printing fall off?
As a service, yeah.
Right. And yes, I have. When it first came out, it was very unique, and a lot of people didn't understand what it was and even how to do it. But it's a pretty simple process, and I think that more people get exposed to it and actually use it. There's less of a need for services on the small kind of trinkety things. But honestly, manufacturing continues to grow. I think the kind of novelty stuff that 3D printing was first coming out with, yeah, I've seen that drop off considerably. And it's kind of shifted from the novelty of 3D printing to a true manufacturing tool.
Interesting. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that's just what I've seen.
Yeah. So has it been more like a shift where one's gotten less and the other one is sort of offset that, or the other one's trending up?
Yeah, I think the other one's just trending up.
That makes sense.
I think when 3D printing first came out to the masses and everybody could potentially have a 3D printer in their home,
Right.
I think a lot of people bought 3D printers for their home.
Yeah.
And they're printing out trinkets
Yeah.
and it's
Right.
taking 5 hours.
Paper-
They're like, this is really cool, but it's not,
It's not the replicator I saw on Star Trek.
so it's not as, it's not as cost effective. It's not as, you can't print out parts to go on your car or something in
Yeah.
5 seconds. It's going to take a while to do it. So with the technology that is growing leaps and bounds, things are getting faster, things are getting more robust, things are getting stronger. They're printing with metals and carbon fibers and other, crazy polymers out there.
Yeah.
So, but with that, the cost is, I don't think everybody's going to have a $30,000 or $40,000 printer in there.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because they're not in the manufacturing.
Yeah.
But like I said, the more people that buy those, the more corporations that buy those and companies that buy those, the prices are going to go down.
Yep.
But yeah, I definitely have seen the trinkety kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, that makes sense. The novelty is kind of wearing off, and
Yep.
it's like, but everybody's starting to realize it's kind of finding its fit in the marketplace.
Yeah, I mean, it's finding its lane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's not, you can 3D print anything.
Right.
Well, you can, but is it
But
really
would you
viable?
want to, right?
And Celeste wanted to know about how feasible is it to actually print silicone molds? Is that like doable or?
So I would say at this point, silicone molds, no, I would not print silicone molds.
Okay.
But what I would do is I would 3D print the part that you want to make the mold from, and then put silicone over that. And now you have your silicone mold.
That makes sense.
So you don't actually 3D print the silicone mold. You 3D print the part that you want to make, and then you make a silicone mold from that.
Okay, so you're,
Yes.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Bridget wants to know if you can 3D print puppets. Puppets. I mean, you gotta remember kids' education. I mean, amateur answer, yeah. Why not? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3D print puppets.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then like all the moving parts,
Yeah.
the really neat thing about it is that you can print stuff out and have just the smallest, connections where you almost can't see them. I mean, I've printed out planetary gears, and when I take them off the printer, they don't work because they're being held together with it's almost as thin as a hair.
Yep.
And then I give it one turn, it breaks off all the hairs, and now the planetary gear works. So you can, yes, you could definitely print out a puppet, sure.
Interesting.
Somebody gave me a cube one time. He said it was 3D printed.
Yeah.
But you can turn the cube, and
Yes.
it's like all of these little gears inside.
Right. Yep. And when that comes off the printer, you have to kind of give it a little snap. And
See, I didn't see that part.
Yeah, you break off all the what's called the support material.
Yeah.
Oh,
Break that off, and then then it's a free spinning.
wow.
Yeah.
And did you screenshot that one question by any chance?
I didn't.
Oh, no worries. Let's scroll up then, because
Scroll
it's
up.
further up.
So
Yeah.
it was
It's not on mine right now, where I had to hop in and out.
Go up.
Yeah.
there you go, Doug.
Is it there?
Have you? Nope. Sorry.
No, it's higher up.
Oh, higher up.
Yeah. Much,
Keep going.
like almost the top.
It was something about SLS printing?
Yeah, I remember that part. That's actually the only part I remember is SLS.
Okay,
Yeah,
for Doug.
here we are.
Go.
Since you worked at Xometry, can you explain the advantages of using an SLS-based machine for creating inventors prototypes with little to no cleanup? So, okay, so the advantages, now when you say advantages over what? So I'm just going to compare it to all other 3D printing processes.
Makes sense.
So with the SLS, you're using a laser that actually melts either a polymer or melts metal. And it does it on a laser is, I don't know what the size of the laser is, but it's like a hair thin. So as it's sintering, as it's melting and fusing, whatever the material that you're running, you're not getting the typical, in the older style filament-based 3D printers, you'll see little lines of each layer. you really don't get those lines. You pretty much get almost a finished product.
Hmm.
And when it's not quite a finished product, there's a process that you can put the product when it comes out of the 3D printer, you can put it in there and it gets vaporized or whatever, and it smooths it out and it gets rid of all the support equipment. So literally laser sintering, you have a finished product.
Interesting.
Wow.
Didn't
Where
have
with
those
other
striations.
3D printers, you got to kind of do a little bit of cleanup. And so the laser sintering is really, really kind of up the game.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. That's typically more expensive.
It's laser. so
Right. It's just
you
add
put
the
a
name
laser
laser.
on it.
You
Just
put a laser on it, you know it's gonna
add
be
a
more
couple more
expensive.
zeros on there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Antonio's got a question. Feel free to unmute, Antonio.
Thank you. This is for Doug. Oh, sorry. I have this
You need to
pen.
change it.
I have this pen over here, 3D printed.
Mhm.
Just for the purpose of trying the material, I pull the clip and it snaps.
Right.
If you do that with the plastic one, it's more flexible. And then you said before that material don't hold well together. Don't hold well. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So some material, I mean, I can't even tell you how many different materials there are out there now that can be 3D printed. But at the maker space, we use it's called PETG, and it's somewhat flexible, but it's just really, really strong. And and when we 3D print it,
Excuse me. What is it? What is the name of material you said? PETG?
PETG.
Okay.
So, but with PETG, you have to control the temperature. So our 3D printers are inside, they're kind of encased. So it holds the temperature at a constant, because if the temperature varies, it breaks down the adhesion of each layer that the 3D printer is laying down. So that is a very typical processing problem. If you do not control the temperature, and when I mean control it, just keep it at a constant. If you don't keep the temperature at a constant, it will weaken the adhesion between layers, and you'll get cracking.
Okay. And I guess you're talking about the temperature in the room. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good deal. Let's see. Does Makerspace have training on how to use various equipment?
We have training on every single piece of equipment that we have. Now, I always tell everybody that we do not train experts. We don't train people to be experts on our machines. We train them the fundamentals. So we teach them just the fundamentals of the machine and 3 criteria: be safe to yourself, be safe to those around you, and be safe to our equipment. So we teach that on every single piece of equipment that we have. And then our members or other people, you don't have to be a member to take classes, but then we encourage people to collaborate with the other members of the makerspace and just gain more experience. And being a part of the makerspace, you are a part of a community of people that some are experts. So, and they're experts because they've done it for years and they've got a lot of experience. So yeah, we teach classes, but we pretty much only teach the fundamentals. But the fundamentals are, you learn how that machine works, and then it's really up to you to kind of gain experience and to get better.
And Larry wanted to know what the Makerspace URL was.
Oh, it's just create it. So it's,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
If-
I think
if
I
you
could
can
put it in
type
the
that
chat.
in.
Yeah, hang on.
You got it?
I think so.
he'll go ahead
If
and type
not,
that
if
in.
not, I'll do it.
Oh, yeah, if you got it, you got a
Just,
keyboard. Yeah.
So
KRE,
The
the
number
number 8,
Yep.
NOW.com.
.com.
not Makerspace?
Nope, just .com.
Oh, just .com.
CreateNow.com.
I can spell. Does that look right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. There we go. There it is. KRE, the number 8, NOW.com.
Got it.
That's easy enough.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
Let's see,
Cool.
Antonio, you got another one?
Yeah, going back to Doug. So I guess the 3D printer, just like the traditional printer, talking about the printer for the, you know, the paper printer. If I have a part that I want to print, let's say 500 pieces, I don't have to be engineer to do the drawing to send the information to the printer. But if I'm making 500 pieces or 1,000 pieces, 2,000 pieces, then I guess it might be convenient instead of sending the drawing to your company to make the part. Maybe I've reached some level that it makes sense for me to buy the printer to make my own part. Does that make sense?
It makes sense what you're saying. Here's the problem.
Okay.
3D printers are historically slow producing machines. So my company has 3D printing farms. There are thousands and thousands of printers that they have. So when you say, hey, I want 1,000 of these parts,
Clear your schedule.
yeah. If Antonio wants to make 1,000 parts, you better have a lot of 3D printers or it's going to take you a really long time.
Okay.
But Xometry has all those printers. And if you send in your drawing and you agree on the price, they hit go and you have 1,000 printers all working at the same time to get your product done. So it'll happen a lot faster.
So this company here, I have the name is very small on the pen, but I did some research on the company before, and they claim that they had the capacity to make over 60,000 parts. I guess not to be part, whatever, I don't know, over 60,000 parts per day, I guess. So that means they have a lot of printers.
Oh yeah.
They've got buildings full of printers.
Okay, so it's
warehouses, and they're not only just warehouses, just one level. It's stacked. Like they've got a lot of printers.
Okay, that's
not
really,
two guys, a dog in a garage.
that's really helpful, because in my mind I was thinking that the printer were fast and that they were making a lot of parts. So it's not they have a lot of printers.
They have a lot
Okay,
of printers.
okay. Thank you.
No
Thank you.
problem.
You're welcome.
So Doug, you think that's that could be a potential mezzanine solution to the 3D printer to
Injection molding
injection molding?
is having 3D printing farms.
Yeah, just farming it
Oh.
out to somebody who can do it with that much firepower, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, I think if you were going into if you wanted to get into that business,
Mm-hmm.
you got to buy a lot of real estate. You got to buy a lot of 3D printers, and you got to buy a lot of material. And a lot of different types of material.
But the electric bill's high too, so yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
I mean, Xometry is, it's a $380 million corporation
Mm.
and growing. So
Wow.
they've got the money to do it. So
Makes sense.
Wow.
See you, Dan. No worries.
Thanks, Dan. So any other questions?
Yeah,
in
anybody
the
got any more
chat?
questions? You can either raise your hand or type it in the chat.
Thanks, guys. Good night. Good meeting. Bye-bye.
All right.
yep.
I'll
Thanks,
see you.
Dan.
care.
Good to see you.
Oh, let's see.
Oh, Brandon's got something.
Yep.
Brandon?
What's up, Brandon?
I think you clicked it twice.
Oh,
All
There we
right. Is there a published date for the Kentucky Fair for this year? And if you guys are going to do a
It's-
booth again?
It's pending whether we'll do a booth. We're gonna try to. We gotta get a few ducks in a row first, and it's in August of this year. I can't recall exactly what days, but it's
yeah,
August.
I think it is. I think it's usually always
I
August,
think it's the last week of
but
August.
yeah, it might be like the last of August. And we're looking at some other options.
17th through the
too.
27th.
If you've got a big fair in your state, and you've got some inventors, out there.
Charlie, or stand up.
Oh yeah, that always helps.
I know it's counterintuitive, but yeah.
But yeah, it's if you got one of your, so we're talking to some different places. We might be doing some more stuff. I mean, last year we did the Kentucky farm show, and we did the Kentucky State Fair, or not the Kentucky Farm. It was the National Farm Machinery Show. It was a big. It's like the national show, but it's in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then we did the State Fair in Kentucky, and those were brand new things. I mean, there was never an innovation area in any of those places. So I hopefully we'll be able to repeat what we did last year, and if we don't, we might be doing something bigger. So stay tuned.
Will do.
All right,
I think we got time for one more question.
one more.
Who's
All
got
right.
Oh, Antonio? Oh, never mind. It looked like you unmuted.
Yeah, I'm here really for
Sure.
Doug
Oh, you did.
again. I wanted to know if, because I'm gonna need 3D printed parts. I just wanted to know if that's something I can work with Doug. I just sent you, Leo, my email. You can pass it over to Doug because I need
Okay.
3D printing work.
Was that via email or PM?
Say it again?
Oh, actually, I know. I'll find it. Ah,
Yeah.
there we go. Yes,
Yeah.
I will
You got it.
send it to him. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll take a look at it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Oh, you have my email. Then we go on the next step.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that kind of wraps things up for us. Thank you all for being here. Stay tuned, watch your email inboxes. If you're watching on YouTube, go on our website at kyinventors.org and sign up for announcements and updates. And you can also sign up for text alerts. Although we'd like you to sign up for emails too. That way we can send you some more detailed information on what we have going on. We've got stuff coming up in April the 4th. We're going to have April Mitchell in April. And that's going to be pretty cool. And then we're is that right? Is that confirmed, Leo? Okay.
It's pseudo confirmed.
Pseudo
There's a
confirmed.
90%
Tentative.
chance.
Tentative. So all right, so watch for that. And then the second Friday, we'll be doing an Inventor Friday again. It'll be a lot of really cool stuff, probably some new stuff, and maybe we'll have someone else switching the cameras other than me. So hopefully that'll be a lot better. So anyway, stay tuned for that. Next week is the Inventors Workshop. If you're a member, you'll be getting access. If you're not a member, you can become one. Just go to our website, kyinventors.org. On YouTube, just subscribe, and hit that like button, and we will love to have you as part of our tribe. So thank you all again. Thank you all for hanging out with us on a Friday night.
Thanks for being here, Doug.
And we hope to see you again really soon.
Hey, Don.
Yeah.
Don. So at the top of the chat, I put in where to find that, the IRS code and,
Yes.
and patent it yourself.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
put another
Perfect.
stuff in there about where to find it and patent
Yep.
yourself.
So that is in the chat. So
Awesome.
the tax deductions and income in the table of contents. So perfect. Thank you again for that, George. We really appreciate that.
Good deal. I'll see
All
you,
right.
everybody.
Everybody have a great night.
Bye.